Capital Live. I'm Steve Kennard. I'm the president of the AI Innovation Association, and our typical co-host Lee Bratcher is off for the day today, but we do have our entrepreneur in residence JBA joining us for an episode of Texas Capital Live, our only episode this week going into Thanksgiving. And look, thankfully the market is up today. A lot of positivity, a lot of kind of turning a corner going into the holidays, which is a welcome change given we've had a lot of red over the past couple of weeks. And so in honor of the upcoming holiday, we want to dive in and highlight 5 stocks that we think have a lot on the line going into Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and really the earnings that will come thereafter around what that holiday season looks like, how the American consumer is feeling. And I think that often people's minds go quickly to Walmart, Target, Amazon. Those are kind of the big names. We wanted to talk about a few that are maybe not the main ones. So we're going to give 5 stocks there. The first one I want to talk about is Chewy. This is a stock that is really focused on owning a particular segment, and in this case, that is pet, and really dominant in the pet food area. Historically, Chewy has really relied on subscription-based sales of people that are on autopilot and just kind of getting their food shipped for their pet every so often. Going into the holidays, a lot on the line there for Chewy to try to break into more of that consumer discretionary spending. They've been working on that a lot, trying to show sort of a new revenue stream around that. And so we'll see if Chewy can break in and be a leader in that area as it pertains to pets. Next stock is Lululemon. We talked about this one before. Lululemon's kind of a standard bearer for the upper end of that retail spend. It's certainly targeted at a higher cost per item. Lululemon has struggled a lot over the past year, been in the headlines for really all the wrong reasons, and is also going to be a bit of a harbinger of, is that starting to change? Are they going to see more growth outside of the United States, kind of less reliance on the premium American consumer spend? So a lot on the line for Lululemon.
I want to say real quick on that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the 3 twins. I think they were Czech. Maybe I'm wrong. But
Like from the Czech Republic?
I think they were. Don't quote me on this, but they took like a bunch of famous American business models and then replicated it in other markets and made stupid amounts of money. So to your point, and I know also in the e-com space, another great market is the Netherlands. So if you have like a product in the U.S. that's like really doing well, you go to the Netherlands, there's a lot less competition in e-com. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do something similar there.
It will. A lot of that messaging from Lululemon is basically, in a nutshell, we're not going to depend as much on the American consumer. We're going to find premium markets somewhere else. So we'll see if that's true, or if it still kind of comes down to how many people want to go on Black Friday and see if they get a deal on some yoga leggings. So we'll be interesting to see those earnings after the fact. Moving on, we've got Mercado Libre, and this is kind of thought of as the Amazon of Latin America. I suspect they probably really don't like to be called that, but I think it's the simplest way to explain the business. And they have a dominant position within Latin America, and the stock has kind of lagged in recent months. It really hasn't picked up on sort of the broader AI story, the emerging market story. It's sort of gone under the radar. So feels like this is an opportunity this holiday season for Mercado Libre to show they're the dominant player across a region that has hundreds of millions of people, and those people celebrate Christmas as well. Maybe not Thanksgiving as much as we do here in the States, but they are going to lean into that holiday spending, and Mercado Libre will try to show, they are the platform of choice for that, really that whole continent. And they are US listed again and have really flown under the radar. I feel like they're due for kind of re-emerging as one of these hot emerging market plays, which is how they originally sort of rose to the top of Wall Street and had a time where they were in the spotlight for that. Feels like they're due for coming back. We'll see if the holiday season can be part of spurring that on. Next up is Etsy. This is one that my wife loves to use, and that's really how I heard about it. Etsy's had a big run-up, was kind of in the headlines a couple of years ago, and then has receded a little bit as a platform for all kinds of entrepreneurs to sell really anything. And it feels like, again, in this kind of new age of AI-driven entrepreneurialism, more online sales, can Etsy start to carve out a bigger piece of that pie as opposed to the big box Amazon type of vendors? This is what this holiday season will be all about for Etsy, and they're really leaning into that being a place for kind of the small business entrepreneur to thrive in this digitally native holiday shopping season. looking for Etsy to see if they can really take that story and spin it into real results. Number one stock I want to highlight is Shopify. So Shopify actually has leaned into that AI story. They've won a lot more of the mind share around AI-driven sales. The performance of the stock shows that. And I'm highlighting Shopify as well because recently I think they've actually done a particularly good job of rolling out some ads that are really targeting this spirit of small businesses back. AI can drive disruption that favors small businesses. The internet kind of levels the playing field and lets people bring their products to the masses. Kind of everything that Shopify is always focused on doing, but they want to go bigger. I think the best way that I can describe it is, I think it was their CEO that I saw that said Black Friday is our Super Bowl. And so they've really been pumping not just their employees, but all of their users up around let's have a big year. And JB, I wanted to play a video, if you've got that, of Shopify. We had a post from them, and it was kind of an interesting video. There it is, which just shows like what these ads kind of look like.
Black Friday is coming. And you've never felt more alive. While they dream of deals, you build. Testing, adjusting, fighting fires no one will ever see. Coffee's gone cold. Eyes won't focus. There's a voice that says, stop. But there's another voice. Yours. The one that knows the truth. This week isn't the grind. It's the glory. Every late night victory, every crisis averted, every 3 a.m. decision to save everything. This is what building something from nothing looks like. Most people will never understand what this week took, but we do. Yeah, we're built different.
There you go. We can go ahead and stop it. So Shopify coming with that. This is our Super Bowl vibe, the energy around it. And like I said, translates to the stock price. JB, if we've got the chart, I want to show these 5 companies that we talked about over the past year and what those stocks look like, and just talk through it a little bit, because you see kind of a big dichotomy here. At the bottom, you see Lululemon, as we talked about. That premium end of kind of the online consumer has struggled a lot. Lululemon down over 40% over the past year. And then up on top, you see Shopify, which really you could say both of those brands are a lot around like the American consumer and online spending. But you see how that positioning and telling the story and where you are and kind of the tech stack matters a lot in the market. And then in the middle, you see the other companies kind of moving together. You see Etsy, Mercado Libre, and Chewy basically flat, a little bit down. And so this is a kind of simple way to show that there's a big spread here of how this kind of retail play within the market is going through to stock valuations. And the clear winner, as far as I can tell, is Shopify. And going into the holiday season, it seems a fair enough bet to say they would continue to be a winner. That is not financial advice. We don't give financial advice here, but it is worth highlighting how that performance has played out in this chart. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd also say that, you know, Shopify, for anybody, you know, Gen Z people who've been in the e-com for a number of years, you know, if you were in the game, you've known Shopify about it for like 10 years.
yeah.
It's only really become to sort of public consciousness, I would say, in past like 2 or 3. Kind of similar to NVIDIA in a way. You know, if you were a gamer, you knew about NVIDIA growing up.
Right, yeah, household name for gamers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but to the point, I think maybe one reason for why Shopify is doing so well is, you know, Chewy is, you know, distributing and selling products, right? Etsy, same thing, right? Mercado, same thing. But Shopify is software, right?
Right.
They're enabling, like, you have to use it. There really is no other option. And so I think that, you know, regardless of the economic conditions, you know, you're going to have to utilize Shopify. It's one of the only choices. And so I think that's probably why, you know, they're selling picks and shovels and, you know,
Yep.
not digging for gold. So.
They earned it. They built that up over years, you're right, and now it's kind of coming to full fruition. So good analysis there. So we're going into the Thanksgiving holiday. Those were the 5 stocks kind of going into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I was also thinking recently around the scramble of holiday shopping and just the craziness of trying to get all your stuff. And what caught my eye is the advent of drone delivery. And this has been almost like a meme, like a made up thing. Oh, it'll happen someday. I've heard it. But I was able to go yesterday, right here in Dallas, and really cool. I tested out a service, zipline.com. I'll give them credit. The app is super easy to use. And we wanted to play a video. So this is me in Northeast Dallas. I'm off of Forest Lane. And zipline.com has a really cool partnership with Walmart. You go in the app, super easy. You pick whatever you want to pick out. I just picked some Q-tips. It was one of the first things that came to the top. So I just wanted to try it out, pick something light to start. And so you can go ahead and play the video. So this is just standing out in Dallas, and you see this like little tiny drone coming out of the sky. It was really amazing how quickly like all of this came together. From the time I download the app, figure out how to use it, order it, to the drone showing up to where I was about a mile away from Walmart was probably 15 minutes. Super easy to do. It drops a pin where you can go and pick this up. And I have to say the accuracy was really impressive too. Like it was exactly where it told me to be. And so it comes up overhead, and I'll say as well, this was surprisingly quiet. Like I'm thinking like this is gonna be this buzzing sound or something like that. It's pretty high up. You almost can't fully tell in the video. It's higher up than you think. And if I wasn't specifically looking for it, I wouldn't even have seen it. So it hovers here above for a little bit, and then you'll see it drop this package.
Coming down slowly. Wow, this is pretty cool. Coming right down to me. Bigger than I expected. Said not to touch it, so we'll try not to touch it.
I did not touch it. So look at this, it just comes right on the pavement. It's like a little drone within the drone.
The Jetsons have arrived.
The Jetsons have arrived. The future is here, live in Northeast Dallas.
There it goes.
So really cool. So the delivery area for this is pretty limited. I really feel like once this is up and running, it's going to 1000x. And I see it in the holiday season when people are like in a hurry and you need a last minute thing. You forgot something for Thanksgiving dinner or whatever it is. You just go in your app and this arrives exactly where you need it in a matter of minutes. And of course, other people have been working on this for a long time, but with human delivery, you think about how much faster this could be, bring down costs. It's quiet, it alleviates traffic on the streets. It's something that's been talked about forever. I was able to actually go yesterday and see this in the flesh, so now it just felt a little different for me. I had to share that video. It's almost like I can't believe this is actually occurring already. I really hope this product goes a lot. I want to commend zipline.com just for making it easy. The app works great. Everything was fun about it. I'm thinking this is going to take like an hour or something. Not at all. So I'll be looking forward to using that more, and hopefully the partnership expands. I know they have some other restaurants and stuff they want to work with. As far as I know, right now in Texas, in Dallas, it is focused on their partnership with Walmart, which is great because there's a number of locations around town, and in Mesquite as well. I believe they also have some coverage there as well. So Zipline, really cool. Hope that Texas becomes a leading venue for this kind of technology. And I think the real benefit, hopefully, that Texas can try to bring is being a jurisdiction of choice for this kind of tech. I predict in a lot of other states and areas you're going to have really onerous regulation. And there are valid concerns of having drones flying around, particularly residential neighborhoods. So there are concerns there that are going to have to be worked out. But I'm just hoping Texas can be a leader in saying, yeah, let's talk through that, but let's lean into this technology because the economic benefits could just be enormous, and I want to see it thrive here. So really cool, perfect tech for the holiday season. I'm predicting by next holiday season, it will be way, way bigger, way more adoption, and just encourage people to check it out. Good work, Zipline. That's it for our Thanksgiving week here on Texas Capitol Live. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next